What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, The Hot Commodity Ant C, joined by my own hot commodity, who's also named Ant. And today we are covering NXT Roadblock 2025, live from the theater in Madison Square Garden. I went to MSG, but I don't remember the theater. So when I looked it up, I guess it's like a smaller arena within the arena, and the setup is kind of cool. Like we're looking at highlights from it right now, and there's like these cool uh what are they, like yellow LED lights,
Yeah,
and they're around. Yeah, they're really cool, nice to look at. And this is it's properly named the Roadblock, the show right before NXT Stand and Deliver, which will take place uh April 19th, early on in the morning.
Roadblock is in a roadblock to WrestleMania. That's what it means.
You are awesome.
Yeah, I tried.
So our first match of the night is for the TNA Tag Team Championships. We have the NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom and Nathan Frazer taking on the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boys. And I enjoy this because we're currently doing the Attitude Years, and the Hardy Boys are, young and just sort of starting out. And now we see the Hardy Boys, who are definitely going to be Hall of Famers someday. But let's go over the match quick. And the match is basically set up as like generation versus generation. The best of the past versus the best of the present. Nathan and Axiom dive onto the Hardy Boys on the floor. Axiom lands a flying moonsault to the Hardys. Matt Hardy lands a side effect to Nathan Frazer on the floor. Axiom super kicks Matt Hardy, lands a Spanish fly, and then Frazer hits a Phoenix Splash to Jeff for a 2. Axiom accidentally hits Nathan Frazer with a missile dropkick. Matt lands a twist of fate, and then Jeff Hardy lands a swanton bomb to Nathan Frazer, and the Hardy Boys retain here. What did you think of this match here?
It was a cool match to see. I haven't seen the Hardy Boys in years because they're in TNA, and I don't really watch TNA. And it was cool to see them against Frazer and Axiom. They're really good. They're similar to how the Hardys wrestle. So it was cool. And the Hardys, honestly, I don't think they skipped a beat. They're pretty. I think they wrestle like they used to be honest, they're still really good. So
that was what I was going to ask you next. I was going to ask you.
I mean, obviously they're not quite as daring, but not a noticeable difference. I don't think.
A lot of fucking respect to the Hardys. We see Jada Parker talking to Mickie James backstage, and Mickie basically tells her, if you want to get ahead in the women's division, you gotta, stand and deliver and take your spot. And Jada likes that idea. We'll see other coaches throughout the night from LFG. We then have our first female match of the night: Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace. Roxanne rams Grace's legs into their ring apron. Roxanne then lands a frog splash for a 2 count. Grace applies a leg / fish hook combination lock on Roxanne. Roxanne is able to get out. However, Grace is able to land the juggernaut, and Jordynne Grace defeats Roxanne Perez. I definitely think Jordynne is going to be eventually going to become the NXT Women's Champion. And I do see Roxanne Perez joining Raw or SmackDown after.
She's already on the main roster.
She is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not fighting on there. She's on the main roster, so she fight on there.
No, but they did make an announcement that she is. She hasn't really started any storylines yet. She still has had this NXT fight, but I'm just saying, they did say she's on the main roster now.
Like, go fuck myself in a corner then.
Basically.
Sponsored by Sour Patch Kids.
Right.
So I thought it was a good match, though. I like both of these ladies. Jordynne Grace was a great TNA Women's Champion, knockout champion. And Roxanne Perez was a great NXT Women's Champion. So it was good to see them mix it up. We then see Oba Femi, the NXT Champion, walking backstage, and he runs across The Undertaker, another coach on LFG. Hall of Famer Taker just gives him advice to go out there and do what you do best. And Oba prepares for his NXT Championship. Well, what did you think of seeing Taker here first?
It was cool. We don't get to see him a lot. I mean, we have lately because of the LFG show, but other than that, it's always cool to see him on, a main show.
He's cool, Taker. He's the bomb. Dot fucking con. He's one of my favorites. And Oba Femi is cool, kind of too. We'll talk about him in a minute. So NXT
I have a
champion.
little side note. So we don't know if he's going to do anything at WrestleMania, but Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be at the events leading up to WrestleMania that weekend.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I think there's
maybe he could stunner the shit out of John Cena.
That's what they're thinking, that he's going to get involved in the John Cena Cody Rhodes fight. So Austin will be at WrestleMania weekend.
Look at you becoming a wrestling journalist, dropping bombs. Well, we'll have to see what happens. John Cena will be in Germany this Monday at Raw tomorrow night.
I'm excited for Raw tomorrow. I think it's going to be good.
We can watch it when I get home because it's on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
NXT Champion Oba Femi defends against TNA X-Division Champion Moose. And these two guys, it's not just because they're African American and we're not racist, but they're pretty much similar in styles. They're both like massive powerhouses within their own divisions, within their own company. So I was excited to kind of see these two guys go at kind of like a dream match. Moose big boots Oba Femi off the apron to the floor. Femi slams Moose onto the ring apron, and Oba lands a powerbomb. Oba Femi lands an FU, which causes the fans to chant for John Cena, which gives a 2 count. Oba Femi military presses Moose to the floor, and then Moose tosses Oba into the ring post, lands a Uranaki to Oba Femi through the announce table, spears Femi, but Femi kicks out. And the end comes when Oba Femi powerbombs Moose to retain the NXT Championship. I thought it was a good match. I just felt like Moose did a lot to Oba, and for Oba to just win after a powerbomb, I was kind of like, maybe Moose should have kicked out and there could have been more made with it. But I thought it was a good match. What did you think?
I think that Oba is a little more ferocious than...
No, I think Oba should have won, but I think he should have kicked out after the first power bomb and then let Oba, because Oba just got a fucking Uranagi through the announce table, a spear, and he kicked out, and then all it took to beat Moose was a power bomb. So just kind of like, for me, it's just like maybe have Moose kick out and then have him hit like a super power bomb or something crazy like that, and then that could lead to a rematch later on, because now it just looks like Moose sucks, you know? All right, next we have a New York City street fight. All Ego Ethan Page versus Javon Evans. Ethan Page tosses Javon Evans into the ring steps and then hits Evans in the back with a steel chair. Page then drops Evans hard off the top rope onto a set of steel chairs and then lands a DVD through a table, gets a 2 count there. Page then goes for an Ego's Edge. Evans kicks out of that. Evans then hits a cutter off the apron through a table set up on the floor, which is kind of cool to see there. That was a cool spot. Evans then dives onto Ethan Page, landing on the announce table. And then Evans puts a chair around Ethan Page's neck and lands a springboard cutter onto Ethan Page, landing the chair between the neck, and Javon Evans gets the victory here. He looked like he fucked up Ethan Page there. It was a cool move. What did you think of the match, though?
It was good. I like Ethan Page. I'm not a huge fan of Javon Evans, but it was a good match, though. It was definitely entertaining.
Javon Evans.
Yeah, the cutter with the chair was awesome.
After the match, I don't know what they're calling this group. They're all wearing masks. The lights go off.
The Shield on crack.
Pretty much, and they attack Javon Evans, just destroy him. It is cool though, the way that the spotlight's on them, and then the spotlight then just goes on to their target, which is kind of cool. But they just destroy Javon Evans here. And what do you think of this though? Like, do you think that these are really? Do you think this is cool, or do you think it's corny?
We gotta see what happens.
Cool or corny?
It's kind of cool right now. I like it. It's a little Shield-esque, but
Shield.
We gotta see what happens with the group and where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will see. Trick Williams attacks Eddie Thorpe around around the ring. They have their underground match next week, but Shirk definitely wanted to get his hands on Eddie. And our main event of the night, we have the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT North American Women's title, both of them on the line. Winner takes all. The NXT Women's North American Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, taking on the NXT Women's Champion, Giulia. Stephanie applies a leg lock, but both ladies roll to the floor. Giulia lands a missile drop kick. Stephanie lands a Hurricane Rana to Giulia to the floor, and then Stephanie lands a springboard cross body onto Giulia, which is really kind of cool. Giulia hits a neck breaker to Vaquer off the apron. Is it Vaquer or Vaquer? It's Vaquer.
Stephanie Vaquer.
Vaquer. Well, you're Portuguese, so you kind of have that. She's from Chile. Anyways, so Giulia lands a neckbreaker to Vaquer off the apron to the floor. Giulia lands a super double underhook suplex to Vaquer. Vaquer hits a dragon screw a leg whip across the ropes, and then an SVB for a 2 count. Giulia applies a Rings of Saturn and then hits an Arrivederci knee for a 2 count. Vaquer lands 2 step super kicks and then 2 FVBs, and Stephanie Vaquer is now the NXT Women's Champion.
And the first woman to hold 2 belts in NXT.
Yes, that is correct. Look at that fact there. I thought this was a good match. I definitely want to see a rematch. They said that Giulia was working the match injured, which is why it wasn't as long, but she worked a hell of a match if she wrestled it injured for sure. What do you think of Stephanie holding both title belts, and do you think she's gonna last long with both titles, or do you think she's gonna they're gonna make her drop one? What do you think is gonna happen?
I don't know. I mean, they really shouldn't, because if they think she's good enough to be the first woman to hold 2 belts, she should probably keep that reign a good 6-7 months. But hopefully, and Giulia, she's good. A lot of people like her. So for her to lose the belt, it would mean more if she keeps this going for a while. She should be undefeated for a while.
I want to see a rematch between the two down the line.
Definitely.
But this is a really good.
They said they're really good friends in real life too.
Yeah, I think they train together and stuff like that. But what I enjoyed about this episode is that it wasn't even a pay-per-view, and it was a regular NXT episode, but it felt like a pay-per-view show, and I thought it was really good. So definitely check it out if you haven't yet. Make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell on YouTube to stay notified. We've got WrestleMania on the way, so a lot's going to be coming your way. And until then, stay safe and stay uncensored.